Welcome back to this week's Beauty Business Mindset Podcast. This is Celeste. I am recording this podcast from my cell phone in my car because this amazing epiphany came to me that I needed to share to help you in your business, no matter what stage you're in. I'm going to be transparent AF as always and share a big insider scoop into the importance of quit making it fancy. Quit waiting for the perfect website. Quit waiting for the perfect everything looking like everybody else. Start making that profit in your business is today's episode. So this episode got inspired. I was listening to a podcast and they were talking about rappers. I know nothing to do with beauty industry, but just, hear me out. So I was listening about rappers and saying how rappers get so fancy. They act like they made it when they haven't. And the importance of just, being where your people are at. Be where your business is at and be where you're at. Be realistic and quit making excuses and how to make things happen. So as they were talking about this, I started thinking back. Yesterday I did a live on Instagram in Spanish and I posted it up. That's the previous episode to this. Is totally in Spanish from my actual live IGTV. And I started thinking about, and I was sharing how when I started renting, I had left a salon as an assistant and I started with 3 clients. Okay. And within 30 days, I had made $3,000. And then after hearing this podcast about the rapper thing, it hit me that I didn't even have a booking system when I did that. And it hit me that I didn't have a website. A lot of things started hitting me, okay? Like one thing after another. And I realized, I don't think I've ever shared that with you. And there's some valuable lessons in here as we're all pivoting and as I'm starting my other business that has been, is building up to it. The importance of doing things with what you got. So let's get started. Number 1 with the tech, automation, websites, booking systems. You do not need that in the beginning. Okay. And I know people are like, I'm going to get it from both sides. That's okay. You don't need it. I made $3,000 in 30 days without having a website or a booking system. So how did I do this? I did that through referrals. I did that through doing like a model fee. I always believed in model fees. Like it just worked for me. It would help me to better my skill. It also helped the client to be able to get a service they wanted to get done. Not all of them remained clients. Most of them did pass the model fee, tier. And I started thinking about this. Why do we complicate things so much? At the end of the day, as consumers, we are all consumers. We are looking for solutions. We are looking for an experience. More than a solution is the experience to get to the solution. And if you are delivering in everything else, but right now you don't have a booking system because maybe you just graduated cosmetology school, or maybe you're in school right now, and right now you're trying to just get your practice in, don't allow that to limit and hinder you. I know there's amazing things out there. I even have, like a website template. And actually, like behind the scenes on the DMs, I was actually mentoring somebody. She wanted to do this other program I have. And I told her, I'm like, I think right now you really need to focus in school. Like, you really need to get that, hone in on that. Start getting your practice in. Right now, she needs to be focused on that. Start focusing on how you're going to build your clientele. Start focusing on what you're going to specialize in. There's other things I need to be focusing on right now rather than the website. And why am I sharing this? Because it's so important that you go back to basics. Basics are the foundation for everything. I am currently in a makeup class, getting all my basics down. I have never taken a makeup class, like an actual makeup class course. No. This is the first one I'm doing. Everything I've learned so far has been like, self-taught, and it has been amazing. It has taught me a lot of little tricks that I didn't know about. It has made me realize also mistakes I've made with my own makeup that I can improve on, and it just has really sparked again that little spark within me of the importance of the foundation, the importance of the basic. We don't need to get fancy. You don't need all the websites. You don't need all the booking sites. You can just do it with what you have. So don't allow because you don't have the perfect website. Don't allow because you don't have the perfect booking system and emails, that are going to send out to your customers and everything else that everybody tells you to do to hinder you. If your client experience is on point. Emma, what's wrong? Shh. If your client experience is on point, you can start working based off that. Your client experience is everything. And not just inside of the salon, not before they come into your salon, but afterwards. The aftercare and nurturing communication with your client is everything. Okay, number 2. Let's get into the techie side. Okay, so you want to start educating. You want to start your business. You want to grow it. You know you need to start showing videos and pictures, but you are not tech savvy. You do not know how to even use your iPhone. Why do we make these excuses? Now, I know this is going to sound like for some people it's going to be kind of mean, or Celeste being kind of mean in this episode. No, I'm not. I'm sharing being candid AF. I made the worst freaking videos ever. Like, ever. Okay? And not that it matters. It's gone viral. Not that it matters. I've been published over like the worst videos ever. Okay? Why am I sharing this? Because everybody wants this whole BS of perfection. And I really agree with Gary Vee on this one, that it's more important to get things done. It's more important to put your content out there than to wait till it's perfect. Wait until this. Wait until you have the perfect iPhone 13 or whatever it is. I did it. I don't even think I had an iPhone. If I remember correctly, when I started doing videos, I didn't even have an iPhone. I think I had a BlackBerry. Because, I was in the insurance industry, and prior to that I was working out of school, so there was no need for iPhones and all that stuff. So I never allowed my circumstances to limit me. I lived in this hot AF little 700 square foot apartment. It was 2 stories. We didn't have AC. It got to like 95 during the summer in there. It was horrible. Okay, I had this little corner and like bad lighting, everything you can think of. It was horrible, but I didn't allow that to limit me. I always made videos. I always shared my knowledge. I always, was sharing what I could from there. And I think we forget that. A lot of people now see like, oh yeah, I do have an office. I have my little craft area. I have my makeup area. I have my little sofa lounge area. I have another recording area. Everything's very organized. I didn't have that before. And I don't only utilize that room for that. Sometimes I go live from my couch. You just have to be really able to innovate and be creative with what you do. Are you going to allow that I'm not techie to limit you, or are you going to look for alternatives? You can always Google things. Like, there's amazing apps now that do all the hard work for you. Like, you literally put in the pictures and they do all the transitions and all the crazy stuff for you. Just Google it, find one out. You need to do your research. Number 3, in regards to your growth and in regards to your potential is limitless. You need to do the work. I cannot do the work for you. Your mentor cannot do your work for you. Your consultant cannot do your work for you. You do not want other people feeding you the answers. You need to be able to look within. You need to be able to do the research. So I did a post this week. And thank you so much for everybody for the reshares and everything. And it was very interesting. So if you go to that post, I think I had like 100 something likes on it. But it got sent out to share 189 times right now. It got viewed over 1,500 times, And it got viewed just from my own followers, okay, 380 times. And there's not 380 likes. Why am I sharing this? Because some people are gonna follow you just to watch you, copy you, or try to be ahead of you, or get ideas from your content from you. It is what it is. Don't allow that to limit you. You need to be your own search for answers. A lot of people think that, because I've heard it a lot. This has been a constant thing that's been going on lately, that I put my best stuff out there. I put a lot of amazing free content out there. My best stuff I tend to keep for myself or my paying clients. And that's not selfish. That's not mean. I have a business. I have other things to do and to give. I cannot do all the work for you. And it has been very interesting with this post, how so many well, what does this say? What does this mean? So I've been posting the meanings, what it says off of the bill and off of the information from, State Board. And I asked State Board already 3 times, different questions, and that's it. I am not doing research for nobody, because I'm I did it twice for somebody else, for 2 other people that were asking me. But that is your job to do. Just because somebody tells you to research it does not mean that they're being selfish, does not mean that they don't care about you. On the contrary, instead of just giving you the pumpkins off the farm, they're teaching you how to how to prepare the soil or the dirt. They're teaching you what ingredients that you need so that you can go get your seeds, plant them in the dirt, water them properly, take care of the soil properly so you can have beautiful pumpkins on your own, and you don't have to rely on anybody to get the answers. So that's the most important thing in business. You got in business for yourself. You need to be innovative. Now more than ever, there's noise everywhere. There's lots of businesses. There's room and abundance for all. But how are you going to stand apart from everybody else? What are you willing to do? I am now at a point in my business, and even with my coaching and everything that's been going on with my other 2 mentors that I have, that I don't need to share everything. I really don't. And I haven't been sharing a lot of things I'm doing behind the scenes because it's for me. It's for my business. It makes sense to me. And I rather show you guys the results and then come in the podcast and tell you how I did it. The same thing goes for you. This is your time to be innovative, be scrappy. So as we end today's podcast, I just wanted to say that it's so important that you quit making the excuses, quit waiting for the things to happen for you, and make it happen with what you got. A lot of my business, I think savviness and quickness has been really helpful in that one sense that I don't just wait for, I need to have the perfect curling iron, or I need to have the perfect website. I will start doing it with what I have. And if it doesn't work out, then I'll get the actual tool I need. But we all start somewhere. Nobody, even the multi-billion-dollar companies, I don't know if you've read it, we're going to start a book club starting next week. And we're going to start with the book, Emotional Intelligence 2.0. You can get it at Target, or you can get it through Audible. Whatever means is best for your learning type. We're going to be talking about that in the next 3 episodes. But I did want to say, Believe It from Jamie Kern Lima. I love that book. She talks about her struggles and how she started. She started just with herself and her husband and her savings account. And literally when they went onto QVC, that live network where they sell stuff, when she did that was her last. She took out a loan, and that was her last money to her name. And she had a couple of minutes to sell the product out, and she did. And she went through, just to give you a little, I may be spoiling the book a little bit, but, she went through miscarriages and a lot of different things and obstacles throughout her career. She started building her empire, and she ended up selling it for $1 billion, billion with a B. And it was just such a beautiful inspiration that I'm not alone. She was told she wasn't good enough. She had rosacea. She wasn't the model, stick figure that everybody saw during that time. Now, there's nothing wrong with that body type. It was just what it was. And I know because I grew up in that era where you had to be a certain look and fit to fit in, or else you couldn't fit in. I come from that generation, so I know how that feels, and I don't have nothing against anybody having any type of body. I'm just saying how it is, coming from that generation. And it was just such a beautiful, empowering book that she made it happen. She got more doors closed on than I think I even have gotten closed on my own face. And she kept knocking and kept going and kept getting up and kept innovating. And she made lots of sacrifices throughout her journey. But the most important thing I got out of her book is that she was so innovative in the way of just doing it with what you got. And that's all we have right now. As you start leveling up, as you start moving on, I'm going to tell you a deep truth that nobody's going to tell you. And it's that as you move up, you need to level up everything. I no longer just have a website. I no longer just use Canva. Like, it's starting to level up to a next level. People no longer just use their cell phones and level up next to a camera or a production team or hiring somebody to do your intro and outro for your, YouTube channel. Like, it goes through so many things that goes up with leveling up. But I didn't start there. I started there with not even an iPhone doing crappy videos. And that's where I got to where I am today. It has been years of consistency and showing up when I have one person showing up on my life. I am to the point right now. I have 7 people that I see that come on my lives. At one given point, and I have up to 20 people that come throughout my whole life that if I do it live on Thursdays. That's just me though. But I started with 0 views and I started with 50 views after the replay. And then I started with 500 and then sometimes it varies. I don't allow that to dictate where I'm going or where I'm headed. And I'm here to tell you, because everybody's going to tell you, oh, they're freaking unicorns and rainbows and, sprinkles and glitter that, oh, it's so easy and it's going to get better and people are going to watch you. No, you need to motivate yourself for a bigger cause. When I get that one DM, and I know I had somebody on another podcast throw me under the bus. Yeah, I'm not telling you what your DMs are asking me about. Well, I am, because you're asking me, so I'm going to answer you. And when I get your one DM, and when I get that email, and when I get that opportunity, and when I get to meet women, and men, and all kinds of humans in person, and get to connect with them in a different type of level because they have been watching me that had no idea or barely started following me, but have been watching me for 3 years. It doesn't matter. I don't do it for the numbers, the vanity, for all the, publishing, all that crap. I do it to impact people's lives because just like I was a beauty school student and I got told so much to quit. And I will never forget that one moment I chose with my friend. We were at Whole Foods and I decided to reach out to this one hairstylist and ask her, could I be your assistant? Can I just shadow you? When I started to put myself out there and I started getting that, yes, you can come shadow. Yes, come check out our salon. Yes, come see how we do things. And then I would apply, hey, can I, work at your salon? No, you're not a good fit. Or no, we don't have room. Or whatever the no's were. I didn't stop. I have continued to innovate. And I don't wait to be like everybody else. I wait to do it how it takes with whatever I got. If I need to do video, I have a phone. That's all I'm going to use. If I need to send an email or I need to send a testimonial and all I have is my notes and all I can do is type a text message, that's what I'm going to use. I am not going to wait for the PDF. I am not going to wait to be, aesthetic pleasing like everybody else. And I might not stand out at first, but overall I will. And you will too. You just got to be able to believe in yourself. You just got to be able to put yourself out there imperfectly. Through this podcast, you heard my daughter crying in the background twice. Some of you heard it, some of you turned off, some of you kept listening. I don't allow life to just stop me. My daughter's going through this thing most people call a terrible twos. I'll call her through her exploratory stage. And it can be hard, but rather than waiting to show up perfectly and not put out a podcast every week, rather than waiting to show up perfectly and not put up 2 podcasts every week that I need to for my audience, for that person that DMs me, for that person that I'm touching their life that I don't even know about, for that person that just hears my content and it's not even subscribed to my channel. It's not about that. It's about the impact that you make through your voice, through moving along, moving forward, because you never know who can be watching you. And it's not just about the external sources, but maybe it's your daughter, maybe it's your niece, maybe it's your sister, maybe it's your neighbor, maybe it's somebody you don't even know about that's watching you as this person that they're looking up to, that, that person has struggled. She can do it. I can do it too. Because we all start that way. And later on, we grow into our own empowerment, into our own self-love, into our own self-empowerment that, you know what, I'm imperfect. I swear I have I have an accent in Spanish and English, and I'm not going to stop. I don't weigh, the 168 pounds I weighed my whole life anymore. Like I went up to 196. For now, I'm 182. And I am happy in my body, and I am worthy of showing up in all of my forms, and so are you. So quit stopping yourself. Go after it. If you get a no, take it as a not right now, maybe later. I always knock on the door twice. A third time, I move forward and I innovate into something else that can do it myself. If that person won't give me the opportunity, that's okay. I can do it all on my own, on myself. But always remember to be mindful when you ask for things that some people do charge, and that's okay because they have done a lot of back work and back to that to be able to get the information. It happens a lot to me. And I'm being transparent, just like we don't want our clients, trying to get us to discount our prices. We don't want to be disrespectful of other educators and mentors that do charge a fee for the information and knowledge that goes behind knowing where to get certain products, how to do certain things. So much love. Until next week, I will see you here back for another episode at the Beauty Business Mindset Podcast.